Hey, what's up, everybody? Anthony Sevins back again for another product review. Now, I've done a product review before on this. It was kind of very quick and a little comedic, but today we're going to talk about the NECA Nightmare on Elm Street 3 Freddy Krueger glove replica. This thing is actually quite incredible. Now, at first, before I purchased this, I was very skeptical about it because the previous Freddy Krueger glove that I had owned that was somewhat decent was the Ruby's glove. Now, the Ruby's glove, for those of you who do not own it, and for those of you who do, you can relate, the Ruby's glove is actually quite large, kind of trying to be able to fit everybody's sized hands, and the metal on it's very heavy, the blades are very thick, and the glove material is almost comparable to like a really cheap ass felt. And when Ruby's was selling these things at first, they were selling them for 50, 60, 70, 80 bucks, somewhere between the 50 and 80 range, depending on where you bought it from. And at that time, that was probably the most high quality thing that a common retail store was offering the general public. Now, fast forward into modern times, NECA decides, hey, we're going to come out with actual glove replicas, pay attention to detail, to materials being used and stuff like that. And let me tell you, I am beyond impressed. It's much smaller, a bit lighter, and much easier to wear, much more comfortable than what Ruby's had produced. So NECA, with these Freddy gloves, they knocked it out of the damn park. I mean, that's just fact number one. They use real leather gloves. They tarnish it up. They distress everything, makes it look really gritty. The holes are all in the right place. All of the metal looks fantastic on this thing. They even have, the welding of the blades look really great. I'll give you a closer look in just a minute. The only thing that I don't want to say that I dislike, but a lot of people complain about the few things. Number one, the blades are fairly thin. This is what keeps the cost down, and it is somewhat of a safety feature to the point of this. They're so thin that if I were to grab this and bend it, I could bend these blades with ease. If I were to jab it into a brick wall, they would bend and get all fucked up, right? But at the same time, if I were to stab a human with this hard enough, I could probably pierce flesh. It's not the fact that these things are sharp. I mean, they are pointy, but they are not sharp. They're completely dull blades. So, I mean, you do have to be careful with them. This is definitely not a toy for children that I would let any kind of kids be wearing and running around the house with. But as far as, is this what you see in the film? This is pretty much exactly what you see in the film. This is size and shape to Robert Englund's hand and whatnot. I'm 5'6". I'm a fairly little guy. Robert Englund, believe it or not, is 5'10". I thought he was a little taller, but he's 5'10". So this glove actually fits me very, very well. I was very, very surprised. I have complete control, finger action over everything. You can do all your little poses and stuff and little whatnots. I have seen much larger people try this glove on, and it's a little bit more snug for them and a little bit tougher to get off, but for the most part, it is a beautiful, beautiful replica. It's just fantastic for cosplay. I wore this at cosplay on Halloween, and people were just blown away by it. And it's also fantastic for display use. Another problem too, real quick before I take this off, is a lot of people complained about the pinky area. The only reason why is because the pinky is actually made to the same size and height as all of the other fingers, whereas on a real human hand, the pinky is significantly smaller. So I would assume that Robert Englund doesn't have completely long fingers that reach to the interior of these little encapsulating areas, if you will. So I mean, I'm sure everybody who wears this is going to have a little bit of an issue with the pinky motion and whatnot, but that's pretty much okay, a very insignificant point. Now, to take this off, I like to pinch the leather on the inside and just kind of, carefully wiggle my hand out. I don't want to, tear the glove away from the rivets or anything. I don't know how sensitive that is. But let's see if I can give you a somewhat of an up-close look here. I mean, you could see that the metal is distressed, scratched up, beat up. I mean, it really does look gorgeous. Look at the welding on there. Kind of focus. I mean, it's really amazing. The blades are all scummy and dirtied up too. The holes all in the right places. Smells like leather too. But now another thing that people were kind of upset about is that NECA had this thing come with a small, literally under a pound plastic hand display that you put the glove on. And you know, it's cool and all. It says Nightmare on Elm Street 3, the Dream Warriors on there, but it really, with the weight of the glove, is falling all over the place. So my little idea for it, and I mean, maybe you have your own, is I have just one of these big giant candles lying around the house. So I took the lid off, just used a regular hot glue gun and hot glued the shit out of this thing, so it's not going anywhere, right? So I can just take this, put the glove right on there with a fair amount of ease, and then you're gonna just put the little fingers in place. Oops, there we go. Uh-oh. I accidentally put the finger. There we go. Aha, got it. So now you have a beautiful, lovely glove display with a stand that can actually stand on things. So I just kind of put it, and I'm sure, you know, if you really wanted to, you can kind of decorate this. You know, if you have a candle, you can put some cloth or material on it if you want to make it a little bit cooler. But you know, I have it right here, displayed in my horror collection, and you know, having it on something sturdy is just way cooler. But anyways, very, very impressed with NECA's replica of the Nightmare on Elm Street 3 glove. Super impressed, mind blown, highly recommended. Now, the cost, the price. If you find it at a retail store or find it at its original retail price, you're looking about $85 or so with tax, about $90, under $100. Unbelievable for something like that. Now, if you try to get this on eBay, okay, depending on where you go, I have seen this actual NECA glove replica go for a couple $100. And to me, that's a little ridiculous, because there are actually independent Freddy Krueger glove makers out there that are not officially licensed products like this, and they charge way less than what people are asking for this. But I mean, this is the real deal, to the point that it is officially licensed. It is based on exactly what you see in the film, and you know, it is just, it's an incredible official piece. So I mean, it really depends, you know, as I always say, how desperate of a collector you are, how much money you have to spend to blow on one of these things. I mean, if you really want to spend a couple $100 because you're having the hardest time getting them, well, that is up to you. But you know, something that is, you know, normally $85, let's just say, you know, you want to pay $200 for it. I don't think they're that rare quite yet, because they are all over the internet. So just be patient with it, dig a little deeper, and if you want, I would highly recommend maybe going to an independent Freddy Krueger glove maker and finding something a little bit cheaper. So I mean, depends, it's on you, but like I say, if you're going to shop for collectibles, shop smart. But anyways, that's all I got for you today. The NECA Nightmare on Elm Street 3 Dream Warriors Freddy Krueger glove replica. Amazing stuff. They also make from Nightmare on Elm Street 1, and they also have another glove from the remake of A Nightmare on Elm Street. And they're all pretty impressive. But from what I hear, because I don't have the other two, the Nightmare on Elm Street 3 is absolutely the best. And, you know, 5 stars, man. NECA knocked it out of the park on this one. Anyways, that's all I got for you today. This is Anthony Sevins signing off. Until we meet again, please take care of yourself and take care of each other.